How do leaders regain lost motivation? See, at some point or another, every one of us are going to hit a rut, a moment when our energy is low and we've lost our focus and as a result, our mojo. You know that spark we pride ourselves in having? Here's the question. What do you do when that happens? Today, I'm going to give you a simple way to reignite your motivation. Let's dive in. Have you ever had a situation where you had to bring your best energy for an extended period of time, and when that project or situation was over, you found yourself like just having this difficult time getting restarted, both mentally and physically? I've been running really hard for a while, both personally and professionally. I've never been so focused in my entire life. Every week, I brought my best energy to everything I did. It felt great. I was in a groove, rocking and rolling. Then it happened. I woke up one day exhausted, right? The next thing I knew, I found myself getting annoyed by the littlest of things. And see, being a type A person, right? I wanted so badly to dive into the next project, but I have absolutely no motivation. Have you ever been there before? We all have. Here's the key question. What do you do when that happens? How do you regain your lost motivation? I want to share with you what I did to reignite my energy. It wasn't some crazy wild thing. It didn't take a huge effort. And best of all, it took less than an hour to get my mojo back. How crazy cool is that? I discovered that it was extremely easy to do, and guess what? It's also easy not to do. It's easy to feel sorry for yourself and waste time bitching and complaining or doing meaningless tasks. It's easy to reignite your motivation if you do two simple things. I want you to imagine, just for a second, how cool it would be if you were able to regain your motivation that quickly. The first thing I did was call a meeting with myself. See, I told you it was simple. Seriously, I got up early one morning and I said to myself that this shit has to stop. I wonder what I would tell a client if they brought the same challenge to me. That was the question I asked myself. And I want you to stop and think about what I just said. If someone on your team brought you the same challenge you're having right now, what would you say? What advice would you give that person? See, as leaders, we have to develop the ability to coach ourselves. We have to learn how to train our minds in such a way that we give ourselves the same advice we give others. This level of thinking is important. It hit me the day before. We're in the process of remodeling our kitchen, and I decided to paint the ceiling before the countertop folks came in. And before I started painting, I began to remove the hi-hats in our ceiling so I could paint around the recessed lighting. The moment I pulled one of the hi-hats off, a bunch of bees emerged and started flying towards my head, right? The next thing I knew, I had killed about 30 of them. I was pissed. My wife told me that instead of responding to the situation and calling someone, I was in fact reacting. And trust me, not what I wanted to hear, but it was what I needed to hear. See, she told me to go watch my own YouTube videos. Bam! That was the answer, right? I had to drink my own champagne. See, the bees buzzing around weren't the issue. The issue was I lost my inner center, and as a result, the littlest of thing threw me off my game. I scheduled a meeting with myself the following morning. When I woke up, I asked myself, how would I coach someone who had lost their mojo? In one of the mastermind groups I facilitate, I asked the same question. See, someone raised a challenge, wanting advice from the group. But before we offered our thoughts, I asked them the same thing. How would you coach someone who had the same challenge? It was amazing to hear the advice they gave themselves, and equally cool to see how they were able to reignite their energy in the process. There are two more things I did to regain my motivation that I want to share with you. They are as simple as the first one. Before I share the other two things I did to regain my mojo, I encourage you to hit the like button and drop a comment below. Drop a comment like, I want my mojo back, right? Or I'm ready to get after it. Whatever words work for you. See, I recognize that this is a choice. Well, guess what? It's a choice to do the simplest of things that I'm recommending. So why not practice? See, action of any kind sends a signal to the universe that you're ready and you're willing to show up differently. That in itself is a mindset shift. The second thing I did to regain my mojo was to review my strategic plan. See, I'm a big believer in having 90-day goals, 30-day commitments, and weekly big rocks. And one of the challenges we all have is turning our list of goals into a living, working plan, not one that sits on a shelf. I reviewed my 30-day commitments. What was I willing to commit to in the next 30 days? See, I found myself answering that question, and all I did was adjust a couple of sentences. See, just the act of updating my plan and tweaking the language, even so slightly, began to reactivate my energy. What was happening was I was getting realigned with what was most important. I was reminding myself of the things that matter most. The third thing I did was to create a self-care goal. See, I got out my journal and I drew a line. I actually drew a line. And in that line, and right below that line, I put, "It starts now." I made a renewed commitment to get back in shape. I set a new health goal. I immediately dropped down to the floor and I did 50 push-ups. Now keep in mind, I used to be able to do 50 at one time, but all I could do at that point was a set of 30 and then another set of 20. It was a start. I shared this with a guy in my inner circle and he loved it. He said he was going to go. He goes, "Thanks, Rev. I'm going to get down and do some push-ups today as well." See, it doesn't matter what activity it is. What matters is that we have a self-care goal. Your energy will skyrocket the moment you begin taking the smallest of action to make yourself healthier. Try it. It works. Action of any kind changes things. 3 simple things to regain your motivation. Call a meeting with yourself and ask a simple question. How would you coach others if they had the same problem that you did? Review your list of goals and update your 30-day commitments. Create a self-care focus. Begin to take one step towards becoming a tad bit healthier. Here's the truth. We all lose motivation at some point. If that's you, don't go it alone. I would love nothing more than help you get your mojo back. Download my free ebook, The CEO Shift. Empower your leaders to think like entrepreneurs and lead like owners. Inside, I'll walk you through how to elevate your leadership, how to drive alignment, and how to build a high-performance team that actually owns the mission. If you're not quite ready for that level yet, then let me send you a signed copy of my book, Freedom to Experiment. It's all about how to reignite both your and your team's energy, sharpen focus, and build unstoppable momentum. The book is free. All I ask is for you to cover shipping. Hit the link in the description and we'll take care of the rest. If you like what I shared today, do me a favor, give it a like, right? Drop a comment below. And of course, subscribe, because each week I'm sharing content to help you and your team embrace change, focus your efforts, and accelerate results. Remember this, you're just one idea away. We'll talk to you soon.